Anybody know why? In upstate New York, from the last week of October till like the middle of April, it's gray and cold and snowing. And it's miserable. And it's like by this time of year, you're like ready to just scream and jump out a window. It's just, oh, it's awful. So by time, and then it starts to get, this time of year, the weather starts to get nice. So you've been like locked up in your house for months, like nothing to do. It's so depressing. So it's really hard in the fourth quarter in upstate New York because the weather's finally nice and everybody wants to be outside hiking and fishing and playing baseball. Baseball's really big up there. Um, doing all the outdoor stuff. So the last thing they want to be doing is sitting in a classroom doing work, right? So it's a lot harder up north to get through that last quarter of the year. And they go longer. Like we used to go to school to the end of June. So they go much longer because they don't start until the first week of September. So they start like 3 weeks later than you guys do. Like down here, it starts to get hot and humid in the fourth quarter. So you're like, I don't even want to be outside. It's hot, right? So it's actually easier in Florida to finish the school year strong than it is up in New York to finish strong because the weather's just miserable up there. It's just miserable. Okay, so let's look at something like the square root of 5 times the square root of, we'll do 35. Okay. Now, when we are multiplying radicals, pull up my thing here. When we're multiplying radicals, the general rule is combine everything that's outside and combine everything that's inside. In this case, we only have inside. Okay, remember my silly train example, right? These are trains, my 2-tron train. There's a 5 inside the train and there's a 35 inside the train. Well, we're going to join the train together. And the 5 and the 35 are going to be together on one train. Okay. Now notice that I did not multiply the 5 times 35. That would be okay. It's not incorrect to multiply them. But, okay, what's 5 times 35? 175, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 175, right? If we multiplied them together, how would we simplify that? Who remembers what we do to simplify it? We start factoring it out, right? 5 times 35. Well, isn't that kind of silly? Multiply them and then unmultiply them? Like, why do that? Leave it unmultiplied. There's no need to multiply it together because our next step here is to simplify it. So we've got 5. Let's simplify the 35. 5 times 7. Okay. Then what happens? 5's go on the outside. Yes, we're going to move the 5's to the outside. So this ends up being, right, we take our pair and we take them off the train. 5 times the square root of 7. Right? That's what square root of 5 times the square root of 35 equals. Okay? Okay, let's do another one. Let's do 3 times the square root of 12 times 2 square root of 6. Okay. So we're going to do the outside. Right? So we're going to do 3 times 2. Right? Combine the outside. And then we're going to combine the inside. 12 times 6. Okay, we know 3 times 2 is 6. How about the 12 times 6? What can we do with that?
2 times 6.
2 times 6, yeah. Now I have a pair. That pair can come off. So that pair is outside. So we've got 6 already there times 6 that came off the train. And we've got a 2 left on the train. So this equals 36 square root of 2. Boom, we're done. It's going to get a little harder. Okay. Okay. So here's a little harder one. Let's do the square root of 5 times 4 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 6. Okay. What do you think? What can we do with that? Okay, so we can't, there's nothing to be done inside the parentheses because this is addition, right? So we can't combine them. So after we do the parentheses, what do we do? Distribute. Yeah, let's distribute. Okay. So I've got, we're going to do the outside first. Now, what number is outside the square root of 5? 1. So we're going to do 1 times 4. So we get 4. And then we're going to do 5 times 2 inside. Right? We combine what's inside the bracket. Plus, we're going to do 3 times 1, which is 3. And then inside we have 5 times 6. How are we doing? Questions on what we did there? Mary, how are we doing? You look like you're afraid to ask a question. You good? Okay, so what do we do next then? Multiply the inside. Jackson saved you. Where you go, Jackson? So 4 square root of 10 plus 3. How about this 30? Can we do anything with that? That'd be 5 times 3 times 2. Nothing comes out, right? So if nothing comes out, we just multiply what's inside. And that's it. There's our answer. How about this one? Let's do negative 3 square root of 3 times square root of 6 plus the square root of 5. I'm going to give you a minute to do this one yourself. Okay, let's see what we have here. Gianna, what did you do? Distribute, good. Okay, so we're going to distribute. So we get on the outside, we have negative 3. And on the inside, we have 3 times 6. Oh, thank you. Okay, we good with that? Okay, and then the next one, we're going to distribute. So this will be plus negative 3 again times the square root of 3 times 5. So here we get negative 3. Now the 6, we can rewrite that as 3 times 2.
Where do you keep them?
Can't you just multiply 3 times 6? Yeah. 3 times 2 is...
Okay, we got the numbers because we distributed, right? Whatever's outside stays on the outside. Whatever's inside, we combine them together on the inside. So how about if I write it like this? If I wrote negative 3 square root of 3 times the square root of 6 plus negative 3 square root of 3 times the square root of 5, right? So now I combine these two, put them under one radical. And I combine these two and put them under one radical.
Oh,
Okay? Now I factored the 6 down. So someone was asking, can't we just get 18? Well, we could. But in order to simplify that, what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to factor the 18. Okay? So why do that? Why would we don't want to multiply and then undo it, right? So it's like it's already partially factored for you. Okay? So all I'm doing now is factoring that 6 as 3 times 2. Okay, and then we've got plus negative 3, so it'll be minus 3. 3 times 5, we can't do anything with it, so we'll go ahead and multiply that together. Okay, so now we have negative 3, right? I have this pair of 3's, they come off the train. And when they come off the train, they combine with the 3 that's out there. And left on the train is the 2. So now we have negative 9 root 2 minus 3 root 15. And that's our final answer. Feel free to do a happy dance or just go, da-da-da-da. There you go. Stomp your feet, clap your hands. Sounds like a dance. Stomp your feet, clap your hands. Okay, there's my dance. That's the end of it. Shows you how I can dance. Okay, let's do another one. You ready? Questions on that one? Okay, we're going to get harder. Here we go. Let's do 2 plus the square root of 3 times 4 root 2 plus 5 root 15. Ew, what just happened? What do we do? Say what? Trying to figure out what you said. All right. Allie, what do you think we should do?
Start with the outside.
Distribute. Exactly, distribute. Now, this is a binomial times a binomial, so we can use that rule of FOIL to distribute, right? So we're going to do first 2. I'm going to write this out so that we don't lose track. 2 times 4 root 2. Okay, that's the first one. Try and do them in different colors for you. And then we're going to do the 2, so plus 2 times 5 root 15. So I took the 2 and I distributed it over everything in the other parentheses. So now we're going to work with the 3. So plus, we're going to do the square root of 3 times 4 root 2. So we did the 2, we went to everything in the other parenthesis. Now we're going to do the square root of 3 times everything in the other parenthesis. All right, so then we're going to do the square root of 3. And we're going to go over here. So plus the square root of 3 times 5 root 15. Okay, so I distributed everything. I haven't simplified anything. I've just distributed. So now let's work on simplifying. So 2 times 4 root 2. So we multiply everything that's on the outside. So what's on the outside here? The 2 and the 4. So that's going to be 8. And the only thing inside is 2, the square root of 2. Okay. Plus, what's this one going to be? 10 square root of 15. Now 15 factors as 5 times 3, so that's not going to simplify. Okay. Plus, what's on the outside? 4 square root of, what goes on the inside? 6. Okay. And then the last one, the outside we have a 5, and on the inside we have 3 times 15. So I chose not to multiply it. Why? Why did I write 3 times 15 instead of 45? Right. This 15, we're going to factor that. This is going to become 3 times 5. And then the 3's are going to come off the train. We're going to put the 3's up there. Right? So what am I left with here? Okay. So we get 8 root 2 times 10 root 15 plus 4 root 6 plus 15 square root of 5. None of these are like terms. We cannot combine them. That's our final answer. Okay. I do want you to notice, though, okay, let's just pretend that instead of 10 square root of 15, let's pretend that was 10 square root of 5. Okay. If it was, then we could combine these two. They are like terms because they have the same square root. So here I have 10 square root 5, and then I have 15 square root of 5. What would that equal? 25 square root 5. Okay? So when we're adding, they have to have the same thing inside the radical. And then when that happens, we just add them together. Okay? Okay, you want to do your worksheet?
Yes.
Okay. The worksheet is in Google Classroom. I think I have to release it though. Let me see. 5. Wednesday. Okay. Make sure you show your work, okay?